Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Again, the preseason 11 new update just hit the PBE for League of Legends yesterday, and one of the biggest new things in the game is ability haste. This is the new system that is completely replacing the old cooldown reduction system. It's not called CDR anymore. CDR is no longer in the game, and it's not just a name change, a slight rework, whatever. This is an entirely different system with a ton of complicated for a lot of people, complicated for me, math involved, and it's going to be a huge change to get used to because Haste is not like CDR. It's a completely new revamped system. So in this video today, we're going to be explaining just what ability haste is, hopefully dumbing it down, simplifying it a little bit for everybody, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a better grasp on what ability haste is, why CDR was removed, what's going on, and then by the time you get to play your first game on the PBE or for preseason 11, whatever, you'll understand what's going on a little bit and have a higher chance of winning your guys' first games. Before we get into this, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It helps you guys stay up to date on all the latest content. It's quick, easy, free, and it helps me out as well, so it's really a win-win for both of us. So it sounds like a great idea to me. With that being said, here we go, talking about ability haste. So first up, we have some things to talk about. How does ability haste work? Ability haste is coming into League of Legends to replace CDR. It's not going to coexist. It's not something new that they're adding. It is just a complete overhaul of the old system. It is a linear scale, just as Mark Yetter says. It's much a simple comparison is to just like armor and MR, where if you build some more armor, you get more physical reduction. If you build ability haste, you get more ability cast per minute. That's a big thing. That's why they had to remove the name CDR, even though it's like so iconic. They're not reducing cooldown, they're increasing cast per minute. I know I watched an Arcadian video where he talked about it being a lot like attack speed, where when you build more attack speed, you get more attacks per second. And when you build more ability haste, you're getting more ability cast per second. And again, that is very similar to reducing cooldown, because when you reduce cooldown, obviously you get more cast per second, but not really, because percentages like that scale linearly on like a curve, or scale exponentially on a curve. But this is going to be scaling linearly, where just each point you build is going to give you more cast per minute. You can get an equivalent to CDR, but it's completely different than CDR. And we have a chart we're going to look at in a little bit too, to kind of explain it a little bit. So something else, so it's going to work on a linear scale. The stat will be a flat value that directly affects how often you cast your spells. For one ability haste, you'll get to cast spells 1% more often. That is the biggest thing to remember. Also, another huge change is that it will be uncapped. So CDR, since it was this exponential curve that it got better as you got more, they had to put this artificial cap on it. Otherwise, it would have been too strong, especially if there's a bunch of items you keep stacking. Some cooldowns in the game would have gotten so ridiculous. So that was always kind of a band-aid fix, but now it's no longer going to be capped. You can build as much ability haste, CDR, whatever you want to call it, as much as you want or can fit into a build now. It gives you more build diversity. If you want to go for really low cooldowns, you can focus on that. If you want to build more damage and get less ability haste, less cast per minute, you can focus on that. Where in the old system, pretty much every build was giving you a little bit of CDR. You'd pretty much always cap at 40 or 45%, and then you'd just be building for damage or utility or defensive, whatever. This now gives you another option, since they don't have to cap it anymore. But you'll have the chance to get upwards of 50% CDR by building ability haste, unlike the old hard cap of 40 to 45%. If you want to keep building more and more ability haste, you have that option now, which is so exciting. Build diversity is a great thing for a game like League of Legends. It's all about optimization, all that stuff. It's so great. So how's it different from CDR? There's a few key differences between CDR and ability haste. The biggest difference is obviously how they scale. We already mentioned some of that. So you won't be able to hit 100% CDR. It's mathematically impossible, but you can definitely get some crazy values. At 66 ability haste, you'll break the current CDR cap. That's a big number to remember. Obviously, if you're going for lower cooldowns and stuff, that's one of the ones you'll want to keep in mind. 100 haste will be the equivalent of 50% CDR. Again, we talked about how this is a less oppressive nature. So in a lot of ways, it's supposed to be a better system. It's supposed to be an overall improvement, but the math is completely different. How it works is completely different. Everything is different here. It's completely different to CDR. So it's going to take some time to get used to and some time to kind of work out the math and the builds and all that stuff. So again, their goal for tuning the move from CDR to ability haste is that on average the same amount of cooldown reduction is going to be on champs. The upside is that build flexibility is dramatically better. There's more choices around haste versus non-haste builds. So this isn't a buff or a nerf to CDR or abilities or anything like that. It's just a change. It's hopefully a change for the better. Here is a post. It was made by Snake Tower, I believe his name is. Here is a chart where you can see the equivalents. Here's CDR equivalents. Here's the ability Haste equivalents. And if you want to know the math, here's the formulas for how they come up with this stuff. You can see that pretty much ability haste is always worse than CDR. Like to get 5% CDR, you need 5.26 ability haste. To get 20% CDR, you need 25 ability haste. And you can see that each jump, each 5% jump takes a little bit more ability haste. That is the exponential versus the linear nature of the two systems. You can see like going from 5 to 10, you need like 6 more ability haste. But going from 90 to 95, you need 1,000 more ability haste. And that's how good CDR was before. And that's why it had to be capped. But now we can see if there's any amount of CDR you're looking to get to, you can see the number is 66 to get to 40, 81 to get to the old 45% cap. As I said, 100 to get to 50. You have all these numbers. This is such a good table to have on hand, especially while we're learning all this new stuff. And then over on the side, you can also see how much CDR different amounts of ability haste is going to get you. So if you build 5 ability haste, that's about the equivalent to 4.76 CDR. Also, if you have a 10-second ability cooldown, that will now be 9.52 seconds with 5 ability haste. So it's going to remove about 0.48 seconds from that ability. So this chart's so good in so many ways. You can compare ability haste to the old CDR. You can compare how much ability haste you have now to what that would have been equivalent to in another season. And yeah, so this chart is just super good, super useful. It explains it, dumbs it down in so many ways. But in the end, those are the changes. Again, ability haste is one of the bigger changes. There's so many massive changes, honestly, coming in Season 11. I'm so excited for all of it. Ability haste, new items, new jungle items, all those changes. Obviously, we're going to be getting new champs, new items, all that stuff. It's all great. But then also the different systems in the game, like mythic items, legendary items, so many different interaction stuff. Builds are going to be crazy. Builds are going to be so interesting and exciting, especially during the preseason when we're also figuring it out. Because those are the times we really love in League of Legends when because we've been playing this game for so long, you know, we have it so down. When something new really starts making us think and theorize and theorycraft all over again, that is great. But yeah, this is just a new thing coming to the game. Hopefully I did a good job explaining it. Hopefully with the help of the chart and some of the videos I've watched and some of the other people in the community, you can start to get a better grasp on why CDR was bad, why it had to be removed, why ability haste is good, why it's hopefully going to be better in the long run, but at least how it works. So if you're trying to get to certain levels, you now understand it a little bit better. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the change from ability haste, from CDR to ability haste? Do you think they should go back? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. And if you have any questions, I can answer those hopefully as well. Definitely subscribe, stay updated on all this content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.